stuff. And it's just, so it works in the beginning, but then it doesn't. And tons of toxins look like this. So people putting, let's say, retinol on their face or retin-A on their face and their face improves. Okay, that's the drug effect. This is what the whole pharmaceutical industry is based on, is drug effects, which are short-term things that are not fixing the actual problem. And then underneath it all, the actual problem is slowly getting worse. So then people get addicted to the thing that they're using, because if they stop using it, the original problem has only gotten worse in the meantime. And then they don't know what to do. They've painted themselves into a corner by using a drug. And the only way out is really like to just get off of it and weather the storm of the toxicity then coming out of them. So, yeah.
Actually, it does make sense. Back then, I think 3 or 4 years ago, I actually was quite addicted to coffee, to caffeine, because at that point, I was actually writing and I wanted to be awake. And as more years went, the more it was ineffective. Or actually, I was quite surprised of why isn't it working. And I didn't see it in that perspective. And actually, we have been speaking about vitamin A for such a long time, as I'm seeing the time we are almost out of time, as much as I wanted to talk about the toxicity theory. But I guess if you don't have a problem, we can do it in terms of another day, in terms of part 2 of this episode. Because I'm quite really interested in terms of the bio theory, and it's quite being in terms of how do you approach it and how people can learn it from. And just a quick, in terms of, I would say, summary in terms of detoxification when it comes to vitamin A, because I think we are around left with 5 minutes. In terms of when it comes to, we spoke about vitamin A toxicity. But I want to dive deeply into the detoxification of it.
Oh, the detoxification of it. Okay, so, well, the biggest thing that we do is really, so our bodies detox every day. This is normal. We have to detox to live. Like, kind of like to drive a car, it's going to push out toxic exhaust. Well, we're going to make toxins in our system every day. That's just a byproduct of living. So, being that we do that, our body has a certain detox load that it has to do on a daily basis. The biggest thing that we can do to not add to the body's load, the most important thing is to not put more toxins in, because then that just gives it more work. Like, people will talk about taking supplements or, doing this other stuff. I always say we always want to stop intoxing before we try to start detoxing. So that, like, it'd be like if somebody was, messed up from alcohol, the very first thing that they should do is generally quit drinking. It makes sense, right? Stop putting the poison in. So that's what we do first. Like, so we just work on, like, a lot of those vitamin A foods I mentioned. Well, I mean, the first thing that people can do is stop any vitamin A supplements that you're taking. Whether it's cod liver oil or fish oil or retinol palmitate or organ meat supplements or, retin-A on your face, retinol creams, anything like that. Carotenoid supplements, anything. Like, multivitamins all have it in there. So you stop putting the poison in with pills, which are the most, some of the most concentrated. And then if you wanted to start working on the foods, that food list that I gave you. So the parts of plants that are yellow, orange, red, dark green.
Yeah.
And but if you can peel off the, if you, like, as an example would be a cucumber, right? You can peel off the dark green, and then on the inside it's white or off-white. That's fine. So if you're not eating those colors, then that's okay. Then those plant foods, the animal foods I talked about.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be eating egg yolks, dairy, pork, and organ meats like liver and kidney. And that's a really, really good start. A lot of people build their diet after they take those things out on muscle meats like red meat or poultry and some sort of grains. The ones we tend to find the best, it's a short list. It's rice, oats, or barley. And then a lot of people also include beans. This can be any kind of like the normal beans that you think of, like black beans or pinto beans or navy beans or any of the normal like cooked beans that you think of. So not green beans, not peanuts, not peas, but like normal beans. So a lot of people base their entire diet around those three things. And then they often, with fruits, big fruits that we like to use, bananas and apples, and maybe some green grapes. Vegetables, that it's not a big list, but those parts of the vegetables, or the vegetables that are white, off-white, or light green. And that is the most important thing to do to start. Make sure you get enough protein. We like to get soluble fiber from the things like the beans and the oats and the barley and the apples, because soluble fiber helps bind to bile. Bile is, we didn't get into toxic bile theory, but bile is the most toxic fluid in your entire body, and you want to poop it out. And the bile helps to grab onto, the soluble fiber helps to grab onto the bile so that then you can poop it out, which is really important. So, and it also feeds your gut bacteria. Soluble fiber is food for your gut bacteria. So those are the big things in terms of, and we didn't get into it today, but I'm also a big advocate against, let me make sure that's heard right. I'm a big advocate against taking vitamin D as in dog supplements. We never use vitamin D supplements. They just calcify you into a statue. We have other ways of fixing people's internal vitamin D levels, but we never use vitamin D3. It is sold as rat poison. It will kill your dogs. It's been shown to kill babies when fortified milk had too much added. It's dangerous stuff. You don't want to be using that. So we do a lot more other things in the program, like my Love Your Liver program. We do a lot of other things. It's not just vitamin A. We are way beyond just a one-trick pony shop kind of thing. So yeah, but that's kind of the basics. The first thing to do is to stop putting the poison in. That's always the first thing in getting back your health, is figure out what's poisoning you, stop putting it in, and then your body can start to catch up.